the lesson that we keep learning is that if leadership skills and training doesn't focus on the leaders, on the managers squarely, I don't believe it's as effective as it could be. What comes to mind for me, for example, is when I took over this one computer store some years ago, the fellow from the parent company in charge said, "Tim, you might as well lay everyone off. You have that authority. Your predecessor was suggesting that's what we do." He was basically suggesting that the problem was with a group that had become entrenched in doing things a certain way. So there were 22 employees, and he was, in a not so subtle way, letting me know that he expected for me to lay everyone off and start fresh. I didn't lay off a single person because I really didn't believe that was the answer. I'd already grown to believe that often employee problems have more to do with the employees not being set free or not being allowed to be as creative or as involved in problem solving as they could be. So what I remember doing very specifically was trying to look at each person and the role they played. And the problem that I did discover within about a month or two was one supervisor who led the team. And by removing that one supervisor, it was an amazing thing because so much energy was released by the team. They felt that by that individual with highly political, one-upsmanship, hierarchical approaches to running the team, that supervisor had really kept a lot of people down. And they had felt that so many people, particularly in the parent corporation, had been fooled by this. So what was amazing was to see how individuals were suddenly set free. A cashier who had expressed an interest in writing and special events created a newsletter for the computer store. She created a special event that attracted that next year about 30,000 attendees. It was amazing. We had an individual who was stuck down in the basement of a cage managing inventory that had moved up to become sales manager, that is to this day, was later hired by Apple, and to this day is doing great with Apple. Another individual pulled out of sort of his penalty box, if you will, this downstairs dark inventory cage, was also brought up, allowed to use his technology skills and his organizational skills to put together some inventory controls. He too was hired by Apple, is there to this day. We have people hired by IBM, Microsoft. Our team over the next couple of years had such increases in growth, lack of turnover. We had employees volunteering to be vendor reps, that we were taken around the country to do trainings by IBM and Apple and Microsoft to help show how we did student programs and promotions and so forth. And I attribute all of this to the management changing, how managers allow or do not allow employees to solve problems and be their best and step up. I really believe that's why these trainings have to focus on the top